Hey dads, I'm Tom Latham, father of 10, uncle of 53, and a clumsy husband. I've worked as a creative and startup consultant to authors, speakers, coaches, and some of the biggest names in the personal development, health, and fitness industries. I'll show you how to build a successful business from home, uncover more free time, make more than you ever could at a day job, and still be a rock star dad. So stop the old way of thinking and join the dads you know that actually have time for their family. We're changing the way dads live and earn. Let's begin. So we have the DAD4 Daily, the DAD4 Weekly, and the DAD4 Quarterly. Now we're jumping from daily, which we did in the last lesson, over to quarterly, and we're skipping weekly for now. The reason is quarterly are your goals, and you build your weekly to-dos from these goals. So we do have to work in this order. First, about goals. Every business or self-help book out there focuses really strongly on goals. They lock in on them and they don't let go. In fact, pretty much the entirety of what kids are taught in school as far as success or life skills goes is just goals. Like, set your goals, then achieve them. You can hit goals if you want to. You're the only one in the way of achieving your goals. Okay, let's do algebra now. But it's not so simple. In my DadFormula lesson on habits, I show you how to optimize for the starting line instead of optimizing for the goals, which are the finish line. Because while goals are, of course, critical, they're hugely misused. It's because goals have to be SMART. That's SMART. And that means that goals have to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based. Every goal you make needs to have these. So here's an example goal using SMART. I want to finish a half marathon in under 2 hours this coming June at the City Classic Marathon. Okay, that's great. Versus, I want to become a professional athlete someday. Not good. So let's look at this. In the first example, it's S, specific. We listed the actual event. We said the City Classic Half Marathon versus the vagueness of professional athlete. It's M, measurable. We said we want to finish in under 2 hours. It's attainable. Anyone in decent health absolutely can train for a half marathon, but almost no one can really become a professional athlete. It's realistic. Okay, say you're married with kids. Yes, you can train for a half marathon. No, you can't just now in your life start training to become a professional athlete. It's not realistic. It's time-based. We said this coming June. So we set the date, so now it can happen, versus saying someday. This last one is so important, and people really hit this one wrong. Even if they do set a time frame for the goal, they usually set it way too far out in the future. And when they do, one of two things happen. First, they lose momentum, and second, their goals change. Okay, first, losing momentum. People that set their goals far out end up feeling like they never make progress because they see so few results. When you limit your goal to just 3 months, you see where we're going here? Quarterly, you keep the momentum and you can do it over again with a different goal. Secondly, their goals change. This is when they set them too far out in advance, remember? Now, this is my big one. I used to write out goals all the time. 1 year, 2 year, retirement. But my entrepreneurial life takes sharp twists and turns and the goals become null and void. I mean, unless it's a life goal, like making it to heaven to spend eternity with God, or the fact that I hope I leave my knowledge and gifts to my family behind me. Okay, great. Those are life goals. But as far as what I want to achieve in 5 to 10 years, financially or in business, those things just change pretty much every year for me. Okay? Now, one last piece of advice on goals before we get into the DAD4 quarterly goal instructions is this. Identify your baseline first, where you are now, so you can find out where you want to go. Remember, like everything else, once you start seeing results, you get inspired and motivated and you improve faster. So for goals, we need to hit a few easy ones fast. It's like going and cleaning your car or cleaning your desk. It gives you a little tiny accomplishment and immediate satisfaction. So set a few easy goals, hit them, and then just grow to some harder ones. Here's how. Each quarter, that's every 3 months, you want to hit a goal in each of the DAD4 categories. This works phenomenally well. And the reason it does is that 3 months flies by pretty quickly. So this time frame forces you to keep your goals small and to stay on point. You know the whole bucket list thing? Bad. That's how most people do goals. They say, someday I'll forget someday. You want to see improvement in the short term. You probably already do this at your job. Quarterly goals are really common in the workplace, especially in sales and retail. But people overlook this system in their personal lives. It'll work as well for you personally as it does for Fortune 500 companies that set their quarterly goals too. Now remember, these are goals, not to-dos or tasks that you need to do or accomplish. Let's look at a few examples just to give you some ideas. Faith. Examples for goals might be to read or listen to one spiritual or business self-help book or audiobook, or to do a one-day retreat. For family, examples of goals here could be take an overnight trip with my wife, teach my daughter to play the piano and have her complete book number 1. For fitness, good examples would be to be able to run a mile in under 6 minutes, or hit 20 miles total per week running, or lose 10 pounds. Finances. Here I'll use the example of developing your dad hustle, and you really should get this blueprint plan and do it. Examples using this and other things too would be build the plan and outline for your membership site and be ready to write the content. Another one would be get 2 modules written and ready to record audio or video. And then other examples would be cut down my debt by $500 or consolidate my debt into one loan or do an audit of everything I'm spending per month and see if there's any waste. So there you go. And remember, don't set them out too far in advance. Remember the T in SMART. The quarterly goals are where you need to focus, and you can work on those longer life goals later when you have this down and clicking along smoothly. That leads me into the final part. How to actually find your goals. You might have several ideas right off the bat, but sometimes you come up short. In fact, some people have absolutely no idea what their goals are or should be or can even be. If this happens to you, the best way is to ask the 5 closest people to you in your life what they think these goals are for you. Give them the 4 categories. Tell them what you're doing. Sometimes they know you better than you know yourself. You'll be amazed at what you find. All right, so take some notes here on this page, fill out some comments, and let's hit the final lesson, the weekly DAD4. Hey dads, listen, we're under a lot of stress these days. We're juggling work-life balance like never before. We're assuming ever more caregiving duties for our kids. And we have the extra burden of being loaded down with more and more work just to make enough to cover the rising costs of life. So it's time to change the way dads live and earn. I'm Tom Latham, a father of 10, an uncle of 53, and a clumsy husband. I've worked as a creative and startup consultant to authors, speakers, coaches, and some of the biggest names in the personal development, health, and fitness industries. I'll show you how to build a successful business from home, uncover more free time, make more than you ever could at a day job, and still be a rock star dad. So stop the old way of thinking and join the dads you know that actually have time for their family. You know the ones. They seem to always have enough time, enough money. How? Well, they're doing a few simple things you're not, and I'll show you how at DadFormula.com. We're changing the way dads live and earn. So visit us at DadFormula.com.